I believe that we all create our own luck to some degree, but sometimes, everyone who's had success in anything will tell you that there's an element of luck. It was just a run-of-the-mill PT doing 30 to 40 sessions a week. There was contest prep photo shoot. Everyone just went to him because he was already established, and it kind of frustrated me. I said, no, I'm not going to go back. And the individual said, PT it's not a career that you can make a lot of money from. But what I learned pretty quick after starting with a mentor and getting some help was, there's a lot of money to be made here, and there is a lot of chance to have a long, fulfilling career.
I actually got to ask, who's the mentor? Who's your mentor?
So it was a gentleman called Toby.
In this episode, we are joined by the one and only Joey Cantlin. He's your unproblematic gym dad, an accomplished top-level competition prep coach, a judge across multiple federations. He has a larger shoe collection than most women in Brisbane, takes extra-large coffees. His better half is IFBB pro Lisa Reed and is the owner of Team HFS. Welcome, Joey, to Going Off Tap.
The Mr. Joey Cantlin, the GOAT, or as I like to refer to him as, the wizard that makes magic happen. Joey's just a super down-to-earth guy who happens to know a hell of a lot about bodybuilding and getting people shredded. I've had the absolute pleasure of working with Joey over the last couple of years, and he coached me into one of my best competing seasons to date.
Hi, my name is Roxanne Deacon. I'm a 2023 athlete that was coached under the incredible Joey Cantlin. Joey is amazing, just incredible at what he does. He has the heart of gold. He lives, breathes, and is so passionate about bodybuilding.
He's extremely knowledgeable. You will learn so much, and he genuinely cares about his clients and seeing them succeed.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it. And that was a nice little wrap up. Thank you.
Left out that he's a wizard too.
Oh, sorry. And a wizard.
I told him the
Not self-proclaimed.
No. You just know.
Right. All right. So we'll get straight into it. Joey.
Let's do it.
Can you just give us a brief introduction on who you are? I mean, I think I did a pretty good job.
I was about to say.
Yeah, if you want to put it into your own words, feel free. But yeah, give us a little rundown on who you are and how you got into the fitness industry.
Yeah, so like I said, I think you did a pretty good job of summing me up. So, my name's Joey. I've been a contest prep coach for about 10 years. It's both fascinating and enjoyable. Does have some struggles, but for the most part, there's more good than bad. How I got into the industry, going back quite a while, I was in construction for quite a period of time. And then we had like a short space of time where we just didn't have any work. Had a mate who was going to do his PT course, and I was like, I've got time and I've got some money up my sleeve, so may as well just do it with you, burn some time. So did that, and then really, really enjoyed it. I was always into fitness, so there was always like an underlying passion there, but I just hadn't fully explored it. So I did that, really enjoyed it, got asked to run some boot camps, and then got asked to participate in the opening of a new gym. So became a PT there, and it kind of just rolled on from there. Did a bit of mentoring with a mentor to begin with, and kind of learned how to pick up clients, and then, built the business up from there, and then got a break to become a contest prep coach. And I guess it just climbed up from there, and there's not much more to say. It's still going strong now. So
I did not know you were in construction.
Yeah, so I did, if you want me to elaborate.
Yeah.
Do it. So I say that I left the school I was at, but I got kindly asked to move on. I didn't get formally expelled, but things were not going well at the school I was in. So I left that school in grade 10 and decided to go to a trade college, which was actually across the road from the school I was at, so not too far away. And I did a school-based apprenticeship for about 12 months as an electrician.
Oh, okay.
And then I fast-tracked grade 12 to get my QCE because a company wanted to take me full-time. So then I got through about 2 to 2.5 years of my electrical apprenticeship when it was cut short by the Brisbane floods. I think it was, I don't know what year that was in, probably about 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. And the company that I was with at the time, obviously they lost all their business as a result. So they had to basically shut down the business. So I was left jobless. Then I got an opportunity to work out in the Northern Territory, basically like running and operating as part of a landscaping crew, out in like the real regional, like deserted lands, like literally in the desert.
Yeah.
Did that for about 6 months on and off because it was fly in, fly out. And then I got an opportunity to work on offshore gas rigs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
In the middle of the ocean. So
Yeah, right. So if I'm doing my math correct, you're about 42?
something like that.
Yeah, right.
Some people think I'm 20, some people think I'm 45. Some people think I'm single with no kids. Some people think I'm married with 5 kids and 2 dogs. So
Realistically, you've got about 120 kid clients.
yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Children, yeah.
So yeah, I did that for about 12 months. And then, like I said, we had a period of time where we didn't have any work on. And that's where the PT thing started.
Yeah, right.
Look at you
So-
now.
The
I've
things
done-
you find out in going off tap.
I even worked in hospitality before all that.
Oh
So
my God.
worked in a restaurant, waiting tables and polishing dishes. So.
Yeah, right. Oh, well,
was fun.
I've had about 3 jobs.
Oh, and in a deli. I forgot to add that. I did work in a deli. As soon as I was legal working age, my old man literally went to a restaurant the exact day and got me a job. And then came home and said,
Off
threw
you
me
go.
my uniform, you work tonight.
Chuck on
Good
your,
man.
Yeah.
Chuck on your kit.
Yeah, so...
Rightio, what do you currently do in the industry, and both primarily and subsequently?
Gee, that's an interesting question. Well, what I do in the industry is I do operate mainly as a contest prep coach, but I do still have a lot of general population clients. So obviously as a contest prep coach, my job is to take someone from where they're at and turn them into a competitor. Obviously there's a whole heap of different divisions and classes and stuff like that. I'm not sure if we're going to get into that, but basically take someone from where they're at and try and mold them into where they want to go or where they probably fit the best. And my role as a contest prep coach is to, I guess, to some degree, inspire and motivate and obviously teach. Obviously, you both know, and myself, we've all competed here. We know how much inspiration you probably need at times and how much additional motivation you need at times. So as the prep coach, it's my job to try and provide that. And, understanding what makes your clients tick or your athletes tick, makes that easier. So I guess that's my role as a contest prep coach. And obviously, give them all the technical stuff like the nutritional recommendations, the training recommendations, cardio steps, all that kind of stuff.
All that stuff.
They tell you what to do.
Yeah, but I think the true art of coaching comes from something other than all that technical stuff and being able to pinpoint what makes each individual athlete tick and being able to get them over the line in that respect, because anyone can write the right plan and write the right training plan, nutrition, everything, but not everyone can squeeze the most out of every athlete. And I think that's what truly makes a coach be able to stay in the industry for so long and continue to bring a standard that you would consider high. And
Yeah, like the
obviously,
passion.
yeah. And I believe I do that to the best of my ability, and obviously you guys do a fantastic job of that. So
Thanks.
mate. We learnt from the best.
And you mentioned you kind of fell into contest prep coaching.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
yeah, so I actually told this story a bit earlier in the week
Yeah.
on another podcast, and it's probably the first time I've actually told it, so it's still pretty fresh. So I was driving, at this point I was just doing Gen Pop coaching. So I was only face-to-face. Back when I first started, there was online wasn't a thing. Like, I'm sure we'll get into that a bit after how that came about, but I was just a run-of-the-mill PT doing 30 to 40 sessions a week, mostly 30-minute sessions. And I enjoyed it, but I knew that there was something more for me, and I knew that I had more to give the industry. And, we had another trainer, we had 2 other trainers, but one of them was a bodybuilder, and he'd been in the industry for a long time. So anytime someone was truly serious about putting on some muscle or getting into awesome shape, whether it was contest prep photo shoot, everyone just went to him because he was already established. And that kind of frustrated me. And, he deserved to get those clients because he'd put in the work. So definitely not taking anything away from him. But I knew that I could do that too. I just didn't have anything to show for it. I knew I had the knowledge. I knew I had the drive to, help someone do it. And then I was driving home from work one Friday night, put in a big day, and I get this text message from this girl, and she she said, hey, you know, like I just picked up your card from the gym. Just wondering if you specialize in contest prep at all. I want to do like a bikini and fitness comp. I was like, look, I'm going to be straight up. I've never done it, but I know I can do it. So if you give me the chance, you know, like, and kind of be somewhat of a guinea pig, I would love to help you. So yeah, she agreed to it, and she was progressing really, really well. And another girl that I had like mutual friends with through school, we didn't go to the same school, but we had a lot of similar friends. She saw that progress like on Facebook, and she's like, I've been thinking about doing this too. Do you mind helping me out? I was like, yeah, sure, jump on board.
Domino.
And they both did really well.
Yep.
They both did a sensational job. And then at the time, the girl who initially got in contact with me, she was quite popular on social media at the time, because social media wasn't really much of a thing then. Instagram had been out for maybe 5 or 6 years, and she had quite a lot of followers, or what we would consider a lot of followers back then. I think she had like 10 or 20,000.
Yeah, right.
Not bad.
Actual
which
followers.
is quite a lot back then. Like
Yeah.
not every single person in the world was on Instagram or social media. So that was probably what you would see as 100,000 today. So, and obviously she, you know, would tag me and stuff, and people would ask her for recommendations, and that's kind of how I got my start. And then after that, it just continued to elevate. And for a while, it was only females because I hadn't prepped a male.
Yep.
And then finally, I got a guy to approach me and trust me to do that, and he absolutely cleaned up and looked great. So that's kind of how that elevated. So yeah, I'm super fortunate to have received that opportunity like years ago, because, you know, I believe that we all create our own luck to some degree, but sometimes, you know, everyone who's had success in anything will tell you that there's an element of luck. But, you know, that was lucky that she picked up my card, but it was also an opportunity, and
You took it.
Delivered it.
I capitalized on the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, while we create our own luck, you know, we don't always create those opportunities, but when we're there, you have to take them. So.
I like that so much, because before Off Tap actually got into comp prep, I used to be always watching you and Simon and BK. I was like, fucking one day, man, like we're going to be able to do that. And just so happened to be, Von was the first one. And
I guess
Yeah.
lucky that
lucky
but-
went through, but we didn't fuck it up either. So it was like, I think that's the biggest bit. If you are going to be that coach and you are going to jump in like the industry, like don't try and replicate what the guys at the higher are doing. Be you is your biggest thing, because you could not be me and I could not be Joey. Like, but everyone has their own unique kind of flavors.
Yeah. There's a lot of competitors to go around as well. Like, you know, everyone has different personality types, and
100%.
you know, what you are is kind of what you attract, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
you guys would attract a certain type of client. I attract a certain type of client. But I was the same. Like, I used to look at other coaches in the industry, and I remember going to this first show. I was like, man, imagine if I could get a client one day to win one of these things. And then I got a class win, and like I almost cried. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, man, imagine if I could get like an overall win. That would be cool. Got that. Imagine if I could get like 2 in a show. Got that. Imagine if I could turn someone pro. Got that. Pro champion. Got that. And then different federations and different divisions and stuff. So I think just, setting bars for yourself. And it's interesting you say that, because I used to look at other people the same, like, man, I wish I could, you know, be on that level. I want to be on that level one day. And it's kind of cool, you know, to hear that you looked at me like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it kind of comes full circle.
So I remember it was like, fuck, how am I even going to do that? And then there wasn't, you couldn't like do courses back then. I think there was only
nothing.
like ISSN, and it was like, plug Alex here, and Sports Nutrition
Yeah.
Australia. But it was like, you didn't have nothing back there. You had to like try it. And I think I went through like 2 coaches before I started playing around with a few things, and then they started bringing out a little bit of literature, and then you can be like, even then you still don't have the full breakdown of being like, well, this is the correct loading pattern, or this is the timeline you should use, because not everyone is the same, and it could be a nice skeleton, but
and that's the thing with contest preppers. There's no actual like handbook to show you how to get someone shredded. Like, a lot of the data and evidence we have available is not on people who are trying to get sub 10% body fat. So these supposed rules in the industry, you kind of have to break a few to get someone, especially to that level.
Lean. It's like you look the best, but it's like, fuck, you're not healthy as shit. Like,
it's a science and an art.
Finesse.
Correct.
Like little bit this.
That's why you're the wizard.
Whisk and flick. If you don't
I don't know
know,
about
you'll
that.
see it at a show.
Sure.
But you mentioned that you're still doing Gen Pop. You're still doing face-to-face training.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I like it.
Yeah.
And it's also a reminder of where I started. And I think that's important for anyone to always remember in any endeavor you do. Like, you should always remember where you started and always pay respect to that. And like I said, like, just because I thought, you know, there was something more for me, it didn't mean that I didn't enjoy what I did. And, you know, I still love it. Like, I love training, you know, the mum who has recently had a couple kids and she wants to get back in shape. You know, I love training younger kids that want to get better for like their school sporting and stuff like that. All these kind of different demographics I still enjoy. And just because contest prep is seen as something extreme, it doesn't mean it's more of a challenge than another person's goal.
100%.
Like, everyone presents a unique, I guess, opportunity to take on a new challenge. So for me as a coach, I just love the variety. Like, I love working with so many different people and you know, creating new relationships and connections as well, which that means a lot to me. So,
Yeah. So
I think it brings that separation as well. Like with Gen Pop and your comp
makes
prep. You can still keep that nice balance.
Yeah.
Because it's like, after, I know that we like doing Gen Pop and I love doing Gen Pop, but I need someone to push sometime, or that after you do too much weight loss, you'll just be like, okay, I'm not getting bored with it. I need something else. Oh, okay, fat loss or muscle. Or
contest prep made me appreciate general population more, and general
100%.
population makes me appreciate contest prep more. And I'm very fortunate to be able to do both.
It's really hard to like say goodbye to one. Like, I haven't either.
Yeah,
but it would
I never will.
Yeah, it'd be really
like,
hard to say goodbye to one because they both bring such different
yeah
stuff to your day, and you can help them all differently. Yeah,
I think another like cool element as well is like you learn about so many different things from so many different people. Like I've trained police officers, I've trained athletes, I've trained nurses, doctors, paramedics, accountants, like CEOs. Like there are so many things that, you know, you probably wouldn't learn otherwise in any other job. So I like taking advantage of that too. Like when I have a new client, they ask me questions about the plan and stuff. I ask questions about them and their job, and I find it so fascinating. Like sometimes I feel like I could be a surgeon because I've learned so much about it. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. But if anyone needs surgery, hit me up.
And on the flip side of that, you know, obviously contest prep coaching has given you the opportunities to go ICN India head judge.
Yes.
Yeah, now. So yeah, tell us about some of the things that coaching in general has given you the opportunities to do.
Oh, so many things. It's allowed me to go to different countries, you know, like be a part of different organizations, meet different people. India is a fascinating one because obviously it's an extremely different culture to us. So I think the first thing that was so exciting about it is I got to experience a completely different culture and learn about a whole different culture and obviously meet a lot of new people. But the shows over there are fascinating, and I think the biggest difference is just the culture, like how they approach things. Like over here in Australia, bodybuilding is seen as quite an individual endeavor. Like obviously we have a community, but everyone is quite individual. Whereas in India, I found that each competitor had an army of people like with them, and they tend to get inspired a lot easier. So I can't tell you how many times I've gone to a show and I've seen, you know, a group of 5 or 6 friends around a competitor, and then I remember them and I see 2 or 3 of them competing at the next show. I'm like, hey, you were you know, just here as a regular dude supporting, and they're like, yeah, I was so inspired and you know, I wanted to be a part of the community. And they're really good like that, is they're very supportive and they all want to be a part of something. They kind of, they're not cheap, but they all want to be a part of it together.
They seem a bit more from what I've heard and seen, and then I've even had some of them reach out to me on Instagram. Yeah, they're just so like excited about it, and they love it.
Excitement and the gratitude about it, you know, is incredible. And like we'll call a spade. Like they have less opportunities than us,
and getting to do that is
And the culture is very different in terms of like it's a male dominated type of thing. Obviously it was, you know, in Australia and America many, many years ago, but India is finally catching up to that now. And, you know, we're getting more females on stage, which is just so cool. So it's kind of cool being on like, you know, I guess like building it from or seeing it being built from the ground up. You know, I almost feel like I'm experiencing what I experienced 10 years ago, freshly coming into the industry and seeing it evolve.
Yeah.
And getting to be a part of it is so cool.
Yeah, cool.
So that's from a judging perspective. Is obviously I've been able to travel over to India. This year I'll be able to travel over to Dubai as well. I'll be judging a show there.
Okay.
Which is really exciting.
Hot news.
Yeah. So that's really exciting and can't wait for that. But as far as a coach, like I've been fortunate enough to spend a lot of time in America as well. So have a lot of clients go over there and compete, multiple federations, and just being able to see how shows are ran in different countries, and even different states in Australia. Like it's all so different.
Oh yeah.
And how they judge it, you know, what they look for, how things are ran. It's always different, which, you know, it not only increases, you know, your level of knowledge, and you start to get more ideas for things you can do with your competitors or at other shows or handle yourself or whatnot, but it's just cool to be part of different cultures.
Yeah,
I love
awesome.
it.
So, from your time in the industry, what's one thing you've learnt along the way that's ended up being completely different? Oh, this is a tough one. Completely different to what you first thought it would be. Anything you've learnt that's just been...
Okay, that's a good question. I would say the first thing not the first thing, but the first significant thing I learned is, so it has a bit of a backstory. I'll share it. So when I got into the industry, like I said, we had a period of time where there was no work, what I was doing. I went on for about 3 to 6 months. And by the time I'd got a job in the gym, I hadn't started with a mentor yet. I didn't know how to get clients, knew how to train someone, but you will both know getting clients and being able to train someone is completely different. I had this assumption that I'd go into the gym and people would be forming a line to get trained by Joey. Not the case. People were forming a line to not train with me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to get clients. I had probably 3 or 4, like 2 months into my career. Like I was going nowhere pretty fast.
Yep.
And I actually got a call to say, hey, work's back on. Do you want to come back? And like between you and I, like at the time when I started that job, I was 18, and I think I'm about 20 at this point. No, that doesn't add up. Something's not right. Maybe I started it later. I can't remember, but it was very good money for what age I was. And it was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So I worked 2 weeks of the month, make incredible money. And I was being asked to go back to that when I was basically making nothing. I just moved out of home. I'm living off savings. So like I'm almost on the bones of my ass here.
Did the jump straight away.
And I just didn't really want to go back to that life. And I just had this belief that everything was going to be okay. Like I wasn't trying to manifest it or anything, but I just, from what I had gone through my childhood with like chronic illness, I just had this belief that everything was going to be okay and that I could still make it. You know, if I just put my back against the wall, I have to come out swinging. Like there's,
100%.
you know, back yourself into a corner, right? So I said, no, I'm not going to go back. And the individual said, you know, PT like it's not a career that you can make a lot of money from. And, you know, the
Fucking lies.
Yeah. The span of it is usually pretty short. And that's true.
Yeah.
Like it is true that the half-life of a PT is pretty short, right?
It's like under 6 months, yeah.
And most people don't make a shitload of money from it. But what I learned pretty quick after starting with a mentor and getting some help was, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made here. And there is a lot of chance to have a long, fulfilling career. So I think that's the first significant thing I learned.
Yeah.
But all the other things I've learned have just come from other people, like learning about different walks of life. And, you know, for example, I didn't know what nursing was like at all until I trained a few. I'm like, wow, it's very different to what I thought it was, or being a doctor or being a surgeon. Like,
yeah.
So I feel like I've learned about so many different careers.
Yeah, right.
Just from being involved in my own.
That was a very good answer to that question.
Oh, good. I was hoping.
No, I was like, oh my gosh, how?
I actually got to ask, who's the mentor? Who's your mentor?
So it was a gentleman called Toby Gartner. He's no longer in the industry, but he gave me my start running boot camps. He got me that opportunity to start in that gym, and he mentored me, and we were best friends.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after COVID, the studio that he ran, which I was at that point working out of, they had to shut it down. And, you know, they have a family, so they decided to move back to South Australia where they were from. And they're doing their own thing now. But Toby and Jane basically single-handedly saved my career. So they'll always get massive respect and props from me. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I like that.
Unfortunately, not in the industry anymore, because they were two of like some of the greatest people I knew from the industry.
Oh, wow.
Great people, great trainers, great business minds. So yeah.
I think it's probably the biggest thing for anyone that is starting off as well, is like, even if you do jump in, because I did some statistics with our actual Trainer HQ lads, that did, like, you're a PT coming into the game that is fresh, you are going to have to make that reputation. You're going to have to do. I remember I went to Clontarf, and I must have did 1,000 sessions in 6 months, and I did the same thing. It's like, you make the jump, like I said before. It's like you got your savings. If you don't make it, it'll make you push harder.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like if you're brand new, they're like, oh, I don't have any clients. I'm like, because you're never at the fucking gym. You're not being around, creating that community kind of vibe. And it's like, once you start getting a little bit of notice, people will start giving you a little bit of a taste here and there, but it's up to you to keep pushing it on. You're not going to be like, oh, I get 30 clients. I'm like, you're fucking joking.
Yeah.
Like I said, opportunities.
Yeah, it comes back to that luck thing again.
Yeah.
Like all these trainers, coaches that you want to be like, or you see.
And if you love it, you only need one stroke
Yeah,
of luck.
100%.
Yeah.
I got one stroke of luck.
And you got to like
Capitalize.
it. Yeah, you got to like
exactly.
it.
And then all these other lucky, well, quote unquote, lucky breaks start happening. But really, they're just opportunities that you created by capitalizing on that one lucky break you got
And you
initially.
take it, yeah.
And I think if you keep your morals, and you keep your, like, this is a very, as much as it's a worldwide thing, it's a community that is quite small, especially in Brisbane.
Everyone knows everyone.
Everyone knows everyone. It's like, oh, it's fitness, so they'll know something. And your circles are this far close to other coaches. And like, if you be a shithead, you won't last in the game. And if you step on too many people, like, you're going to get a bad name as well. And it only takes one or two people, and you're done. You'll be that person. So it's sort of like, if you are starting fresh and you're unsure, definitely getting some business help is always something that is something that you'll need to invest in, as much as it might hurt you at the start. If you don't have any business coaching, you have no fucking clue what's going on, tax, GST, how to pay rent, how to profitabilize, or like projections. These are all things that we can also help with Trainer HQ down the bottom, or
Well, like you said it straight away. It's an investment. So yeah, like, sometimes you got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
And the investment that you put into someone to help you will pay back.
Astronomical.
Like, this is like a compounding interest type of thing. Like,
bloody oath. And it works, because we didn't even have, like, Joey's been doing it nearly 12 years. I've been doing it nearly 12 something years. You didn't have this back then.
No.
Like, you didn't even know what a business coach was, or it was like, oh yeah, I'll just pay with cash, or like, you think like cash is awesome, and it's like, if you learn the business practicality of being able to do it autonomously and not even think about it, you can then also work better within the format of being, I keep moving away from this mic, being able to like bring all that and make it into this nice clean product. Because if you look a little bit shady, you probably won't get as much, but then, once you get it, your shit sorted, it's the best investment you probably will do, is getting someone to help you through there. And if you're unsure about it, then ask other coaches, or like, I've been on and off. You don't have to have them all the time. I've been doing it for the last 6 or 8 years with a certain mob, Trainer HQ. They were like Create PT Wealth before then, and
I know them.
And they take from like 40 years ago. They were like the kings of the day. They still are, but like, they were right in the game, and subcontracting all your contracts, your agreement papers, like all this stuff is stuff that you need to be crucial about as well, because that's what will make that coaching aspect, make sure that you are prosperous, like ourselves and Joey and a few of the other coaches as well. And it's like, if you want to do it long term, then you got to think long term games.
Yeah, you have to put your ego to the side and just accept the help.
Yeah, 100%. Oh,
and I think a big misconception of like coming into coaching is that you're going to earn all of this money, but you actually have to.
You're going to spend more money than you earn money.
People aren't lining up to be trained by you.
Yeah,
Even if you think they are, you could be I see so many smart coaches and trainers come into the industry, and they've got really, really smart heads on them.
But they're not
personable.
Because
they're not personable. They don't know how to communicate effectively. Like, that's everything is communication. If you can't communicate, pack it up.
Yeah, or even, if you've got a business head on and you're not willing to like reinvest then you're probably not going to go anywhere either.
You would be shocked how much money I put into business coaching, and it's like as much
I
as
wouldn't be, but most people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everyone in this room would understand. Like, you know, even the boys from Fit Focus, they understand as well. And it's like
cheeky plug.
Yeah, cheeky plug. Plugging all day, baby. 10% discounts, not. But you'll see all the coaches will reinvest. I think I spent the first 2 years of coaching, I gave myself a minimum wage and I was reinvesting. I had to make more than I was spending more than I was making to make sure that I could do it later down the track. And eventually once it got to that point, then you can take a break and start re-wensing a little bit, and then it comes back in. But as much as you put out, you know, you might get some stuff that fucks up, or you might get some stuff that goes really, really good. But then there's always that learning curve as well. You'll find what works and what doesn't work.
There's only one way to find out.
That's it. And if you don't find out, you'll fucking never find out.
Should I say that again? I said fuck around and find out.
Yeah, fuck around and find out. And it's like,
literally though, fuck around and you'll find something out. Might be bad.
You'll mess it up.
Good.
And GST.
We won't go there.
I'm having a good day. So let's not talk about tax,
Let's not go into
GST.
tax
You guys think you're going to make some money? You wait till you get over that threshold.
Oh, brother.
Good luck, kids.
Oh, brother.
You think you're doing good and then you get an email from the ATO?
You owe this many thousands.
Yeah.
You guys don't know how much pressure it is to be a coach sometimes. As much as we do, we love all of you. Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jesus. Anyway,
yeah, next question.
Back on track.
Yeah.
So we kind of touched on it before. Obviously, this is going to be a very loaded question, so we might have to set a time limit on the answer.
Awesome.
Obviously, coaching has changed quite dramatically since you started.
Yeah.
What's some of the biggest changes you've seen, maybe good and bad? What do you think about, I guess, the evolution of coaching space, comp prep?
Be raw.
Good question. I think like you touched on it early, personable. I think a lot of people are losing that kind of personability.
Yeah.
Because we have all this, like as the nutrition specifically, and training as well, as these industries further evolve, we're getting more and more information. And with that, we're getting people who are getting smarter, but they're forgetting the personable aspect. So they're saying, well, the evidence tells us that we need to do this and we need to do that. And people using big words and all this kind of stuff, but still don't know how to communicate.
Yeah.
So then they might be losing clients and thinking, you know, what is happening? And I think as well, like there is far more disagreements nowadays and arguments on social media because there's so much information and every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to be the one who's right.
Yeah, throw their 2 cents.
But really, like it comes back to knowing your client. Like if you've got a mother of 3 or 4 kids, just because this is like this method over here is considered best practice, it might be best practice for a robot, but we're not working with robots.
Yeah.
People are starting to forget that. Like, you know, Jane, 42 years old, 3 kids, 2 dogs, and has a job. She's not going to be able to train 5 days a week.
Yep.
That plan is not going to work. So then it might mean lower calories. It might only mean 2 or 3 training sessions. Some weeks it might be 1, some weeks it might be 5. So as a coach, you need to be able to, you know, work with that.
Yep.
Whereas I think there's too many bookheads in the industry. And that's not a shot on people who are smart or who use research. But there's a time and place for everything. I think understanding the difference between X athlete and Y athlete, or just client in general. Not everyone's an athlete. Not everyone wants to be shredded. Some people just want to lose a couple kilos and feel good.
Not everyone's going to make that 5-day. I don't want to go walking 15,000 Ks. I got like shit to do.
Some people also don't actually want visual results. Some people need someone to talk to.
Yeah,
Some people go to the gym to, you know, as a mental release.
Yeah.
I got plenty of those, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing if people want to come in. I think it's encourageable.
Session.
It's your session. If you come in, if you come in, if you get a client, you're like, cool, they didn't do nutrition this week. They don't give a fuck about doing the program. They come for this session 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
Then you got to shift the parameter as well. It's like ultimately take your fucking dickhead hat off and put your, you know, this person wants to be around you for a certain amount of time. It could be, you know, they could be single mom, or they're always traveling around, like no one's talking to them, they're unsociable, they're getting worked to the fucking bone. Like you are their time that they choose to use in that week. And I think that's a big thing that I think that's why I don't really care about socials anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's so heavy on socials that we're so goal driven and result driven. It's like, so what? Like, oh, don't worry about it. It's like, what about the social, or what are you doing all this work for this person that's paying you to help them, and you're trying to push them too far to a limit where it's sort of like they'll just tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I'm not here for to get a picture on the gram, and it's like, I think if you use that more, you'll get more out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think the way people go about things has changed a little bit, and maybe that's not just the fitness industry. I think that's just
In
the
general,
society as a
yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess, you know, there's so many things that have changed, I guess, but that's probably the best way I can put it.
Yeah, interesting. And like, I feel like one of the biggest changes would be going into the online space. But yeah, that wasn't the first thing that came to mind for you, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, going into the online space is very different.
That's a whole other topic.
It's a whole.
That needs a whole episode.
I could, because I was one of the first ones in it,
Yeah.
so it was yeah.
Yeah, but you weren't like fully in it. Like, you're still doing your face-to-face as well.
I mean, I'm fully in it,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm also tacking
Yeah,
on face-to-face.
yeah.
Like, I still probably do more online than sole online coaches, realistically.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
probably. All right, let's circle back to bodybuilding.
Okay.
Had to flex. I'm sorry.
What are your Sorry, I'm breaking the flow again.
How could you?
What are your how do you feel about bodybuilding as a Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Let me start this again. So, people talk about bodybuilding being a sport. Yeah. I know you have strong views on this topic. How do you feel about bodybuilding as a sport?
I mean, I think my views aren't really that, I guess strong is probably the wrong word.
Okay, yeah.
I think people just get upset if you classify it as something else. And
Yeah.
I think it might just be an ego thing. And, you know, I don't want to, obviously, you know, my intention is not to offend anyone. Like, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, right? I think that people get upset when you don't call it a sport because they think that you see it as something less. I would
Yeah.
argue that bodybuilding, whilst I personally don't see it as an actual sport, I think it's harder than 99% of sports.
Yeah.
It's so unique and it has so many different things. Like, it has an athletic endeavor, it has a psychological endeavor, it has like an artistic endeavor. To me, it's got too many of its
Things.
own things to
Yeah.
be classified as a sport.
Yeah, it's bodybuilding.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you type into Google and say, is bodybuilding a sport? You're going to get 50% yes answers, 50% no answers. So it's up to you to what you interpret it as. So whilst I personally don't see it as an actual sport by definition, I still think it's harder than almost anything you'll ever do in life.
Yep.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
He's 4 weeks in and he's like, it's hard. Please help me.
I'm 0 weeks in and I'm finding it difficult.
This is a question that's come up in conversation for myself, which I would find your answer interesting. When do you think someone or a bodybuilder can call themselves an athlete? Do you think anyone can call themselves an athlete? Do you think you need to get like pro status?
I mean, I don't think
Is
you
it the
need...
lifestyle?
You could
Yeah,
be
I
an
think
athlete
it's-
with some time under your belt, but if like you did 10 weeks and I'm an athlete, I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit.
It's an interesting question, and I don't really have a great answer because I think it just depends on what you want to call yourself, right? Like, I mean, we live in a society where anyone can call themselves anything, and I'm not going to get
Yeah.
down that
Garden
Yeah.
lamp.
But like, I played AFL for, like probably 15 years. I played tennis for nearly 20 years. I played basketball for damn near over a decade.
Back at showing your age. No.
Let's not go down that rabbit
Sorry.
hole either.
Continue.
But I don't call myself an athlete.
Yeah.
I guess because I always was an amateur. I mean,
Yeah.
tennis, I ventured into the semi-professional sort of range, but I don't call myself an athlete, or I never did, but I wouldn't be offended or triggered if someone wanted to call themselves an athlete because they're an amateur bodybuilder.
True.
Like,
yeah. If
I
they
think
feel like they are.
yeah, if you think you're enough of an athlete to call yourself an athlete,
Go
you
for it.
you
Living
go
that,
king
living
or
that
queen.
lifestyle.
But back it. Yeah.
Yeah, back yourself. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, I would call myself a coach, but some people might say I'm a trainer.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't call myself a counselor, but some people would call me a counselor.
That is a
So-
good point.
It's, you know, it's what you want to be. It's what you want to be defined as, I guess. And I don't really have any strong feelings on what someone should be called. Like, if you know, if you want to be that, be that. I don't really give a shit. It doesn't affect me. If you're someone who gets triggered by that, then maybe you need to look inside.
Yeah, probably don't get on.
Look in that
Stop
mirror.
getting so upset. At
Yeah,
what
don't
everyone
get
else is
it.
fucking doing. And again, not going to get down that rabbit hole.
Do you think bodybuilding is a healthy sport or a healthy thing to do? Healthy lifestyle.
Healthy sport / endeavor.
Healthy lifestyle to live.
Yeah.
It depends.
I think that, and I actually did just speak on a podcast at the start of this week about this as well. And I think it's really interesting. As a society, I think people look at bodybuilding as something extremely unhealthy. And physiologically, you could argue that, yeah, it does have some health concerns.
Yep.
Like, we're not stupid. And I think everyone who gets into it knows this. But I think society as a whole doesn't look at the good things. Like, I've seen bodybuilding save people's lives.
Yep.
I've seen bodybuilding improve someone's overall physiological health. They may have been a smoker, a drinker, a drug addict, something in the past that's extremely unhealthy, and moved over to bodybuilding. And whilst the back end of bodybuilding is not healthy, I think that the lifestyle overall, because prep is only one component of it, or being you're not shredded
100%
for
of the time.
50 weeks of the year,
Yep.
right? Like, you're shredded for maybe 4 to 8 weeks of the season. I think everything outside that, where we are gaining or at maintenance, like we're probably healthier. Well, I'm not going to say where, because I'm not a bodybuilder anymore, but bodybuilders are healthier than, I'd say, this is a made up stat, but probably 75% of the population.
Yeah.
Probably mentally, physically, and physiologically as well. And like, we can dive into the psychological side of things, because that has some serious concerns with bodybuilding. But as a whole, I believe being a bodybuilder is probably one of the healthier things you'll ever do compared to the other things you do in your life.
And it brings that discipline as well, because you can also like...
Teaches you so much.
You can teaches you how to do your food right. Like, fuck, I used to have Migori noodles and tuna flat stick, and now I have...
Nice and cheap, baby.
Yeah, nice.
Yes,
all,
sir.
all the big gains. Like, there's the right way to do it, there's a wrong way, and there's an in-between. Right way, wrong way. Yeah, and then you can blur it a little bit. You don't have to be super perfect and eat like a robot, but you don't have to always be, you know... You can go out. I'm a massive pisshead. I love drinking and going out and going and having fun. But I'm also a person that likes to do bodybuilding, you know. And there's a certain time to wear the hat and certain time to have fun. Yeah. Unless you're in season, then fucking whatever.
I think if someone does it for the wrong reasons, it's going to have serious
hard. It's going to hurt.
And look, I'm not sitting here saying that bodybuilding hasn't destroyed people. It's killed people.
Yeah.
But so have a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding might break the wrong person. But like I said, it saved more people than I've seen break.
Yeah.
So, that's my views on it. Yes, it could be considered unhealthy, but I would personally say it's more healthy than unhealthy.
One of the coolest things that I've seen from bodybuilding in my like short time is like mostly females discovering like their self-confidence and like themselves, like me. Like and coming out of their shell.
Yeah, most of the time I go in the gym, there's more women in the weight section than men.
Yeah,
like,
those
I think that's really cool.
female-only sections are getting smaller. And we're all
I don't like these female sections. I just got to say this: like, there's equipment in there that I want to fucking use.
Yeah,
man.
the back extension in some of those,
and the standing adductors, and like, if you're gonna split the gym, you might as well just fucking call it, you know, Fernwood, or you know, you want a girls' gym, go to the girls' gym, because guys get it as well, just as much as girls. And if you don't want to be looked in a certain way, you won't wear certain things, right? But it was like, I don't like the split, and
I have an opinion on this. I like the idea of a women's only section. I actually like it, because if that's what gets one more woman in the gym to just get started, love it. Yeah, awesome. But don't take the equipment out of the regular gym and put it in the female only section. If you're going to put something in the female only section,
we get it as
well. Have a copy of it in the regular part of the gym, because guess what? I like back extensions.
I like
to train my adductors and my abductors.
I like kickbacks.
There is a back
male
extension.
booties matter too.
Male booties do matter, because you don't want a flat pancake.
Nah.
Got to keep up with these girls. They got big dumpies.
At the particular gym I'm talking about, there is a back extension in the general area.
Yeah,
of the
there
gym.
is.
No, but they have nicer equipment.
It's not as good.
It's just
they've
not as
got better
good,
equipment in the girls' ones, and I think, you know, equality. You know.
Yeah, you're pushing equality with the women only section. Like, you know, what about us?
Yeah, I don't wear my purple tights anymore. Like, and I want to.
So yeah, I like the idea of the women's only section. I think it's fantastic, and if that's what inspires another woman to get in the gym, great. But don't take the equipment from us.
Don't take it away.
I want to train my ass too.
Does
And you
anyone?
can't even say it was sexist. 95% female client base.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Probably more same. I think Mon trains more guys than us.
Does anyone actually know what the original question was of that
No.
that rant?
We'll take it back.
It
Oh,
was
is-
no. I
Did you-
tried.
No,
I tried
it's
to be
good
smart.
content. It was good content.
It was just a passing comment
It was
I made,
good?
and then we
Okay.
got to back extensions in the women only section of the gym. So
Nikki said yes.
that was good.
Whatever question it was, my answer is male booties matter too.
Yep. Sharing is caring.
Male bundas.
Exactly.
Matter.
Worldwide.
Who do you think we're wearing these tight
Anyway,
pants?
moving on. I've ruined the flow.
The flow is
This
dead.
is the good bit. This is the bit that you don't get to see in the podcast.
Yeah,
It was
don't edit this out.
Very regimented and very well scripted. I don't even know what's on the script today.
Yeah.
Neither did I. I was late.
I was going to add that into your intro.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, always
Awesome.
late. One more bodybuilding question.
Okay.
Again, you're 52 years of age, so you've been in the
I like that she rags on you when I'm old.
I know. You just married a man who's older. Give me a goddamn break.
Fucking hell.
like a
But I
silver
probably
fox.
do feel older than I am.
You've been in the sport a lot. You've seen it evolve from what it was to now.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You good?
finish the question or?
How has it changed?
Well, we can segue off that last thing we were ranting about.
No cut in water.
A lot more females.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
actually.
It's actually, at least in Australia, I'm not going to say worldwide, but in Australia, it's particularly female dominated with the evolution of the bikini fitness and sports
Yep.
categories. Figure, as a result, has sort of come down a little bit because, 10 years ago when I first got into it, I don't even think they had fitness model. No, they did. They just brought it in.
Yeah,
it was the
okay.
first year.
Yeah, right.
But they didn't have sports model.
So you had to be like a pretty jacked girl to
Yeah.
get into bodybuilding. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could either only do bikini or figure.
Oh, okay. So there
this
was bikini.
Well, there wasn't bikini like 5 years before I got into it. It was just figure
Yeah.
and female physique and bodybuilding.
Yep.
And then it was obviously men's bodybuilding. There was no men's physique either.
Mm.
But eventually those things came in and they were like just coming in when I first got in the industry was the fitness divisions. I actually competed the first year they had men's physique and I did men's physique.
Nice.
So yes, I have competed.
Can we insert a clip?
You don't want to see it.
I think I've seen it.
Oh dear. Anyway, so I think the evolution of the classes, the categories, and even the criteria for each division has evolved as well. Like bikini is a far more athletic look now. Fitness
love it.
look like figure girls from 10 years ago. And the men's physique boys,
They're pushing.
huge.
They're
Yeah.
like baby
Huge.
bodybuilders.
Like if I competed now with the physique, I used to get a class win every now and then in men's physique. If I brought that exact same physique to men's physique now, hey, actually, you know what? Men's fitness, I wouldn't even place top
Yeah.
5. I'd maybe be 5th if there was a lineup of 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I say all the time about my first season.
But like two things can be true, right? Like you can look good for what it was then.
Yeah,
And
but it's
yes, the
just-
sport evolves, but we have all evolved now. Like I'm
Yep.
sure if I cut down, I'd have a lot more muscle and I'd probably still do okay. But
the way that it's being pushed now is
yeah, the way
insane.
it has evolved is just insane. And I say to this, to my own clients as well, like if you don't evolve with it, you
You're
get
gonna
left,
get
behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so the standard is so much higher, but also there's just a lot more diversity in it. There's more opportunities for everyone. Everyone's kind of got a division that they can do. It's a
Yeah.
lot more inclusive. And some people may argue that that's a bad thing.
Yep.
I think as a society, it's good because it encourages more people to get into the way of health and
Health and
fitness.
fitness,
Like I
yeah.
said with the female only section, I don't want to go back to that, but anything that can inspire people to get fitter and healthier, it's great for the world.
Yep.
So yeah,
And what's some advice you'd give someone that's thinking about getting into bodybuilding for the first time?
please, for the love of God, take your time
Yes.
and get the right people around you.
Yeah.
Like I swear to God, I have seen so many potential world champions, pro world champions and whatnot do one season and never do it again because
Yep.
they had a awful experience.
Yep.
Do your research, take your time, get the right people in your corner because that can either be the difference between it just being a 1-year hobby for you,
or never
or
again.
something that you could probably make a career out of.
Really, really well at, yeah.
Like,
just reiterate, find someone that knows their fucking shit, that is insured, that does have a track record, that is going to look after you instead of running you into the ground, because like Joey just said then, there's so many people that would have been awesome, but they had a fucking muppet take them through the thing. Like, you know,
and it's what I said, just not in those words.
Yeah, you know, and it's through
the
there.
censored version.
If it wasn't in the right way,
edition.
it would have been great, you know. But it's putting your time. If it is your first time, if it's a coach's first time, by all means, go for it. Sweet, got to start somewhere. But
yeah,
if you are serious about it and you do want to make a career or following like anyone's footsteps here, it is super important to make sure you do align with someone. Like, you're not going to be jumping on. I just slapped down a guy that's trying to jump on in season B 26 weeks out, stepping in cold. If you're not even, you have no food data, you got no training data, you have no fucking clue what's going on, let alone the mindset and what comes with it. Take it all the time you can. If it's 2 years, if it's 18 months, even if it's 12 months, the more time you get, the better you'll have.
Yeah. It's very rare that, like, it can happen. Like, you could just know someone has the literacy and they've put in the time, and a coach would be able to take you on for that. But it's rare. Like, we need
many different circumstances.
We need to find.
I know some coaches have like firm rules around, okay, I only take clients when they're 2 years out from their shows or 18 months. They have to do a 6-month off season first. I don't have that rule, because there are people that come along and can break that. Like, someone might come to me at 20 weeks out and say, hey, I've been practicing this lifestyle for 10 years. They look borderline professional at 20 weeks out. It's like, brother, let's go.
Let's go.
But
let's go.
There's a difference with Joey saying it there. Like, if you're not ready, you're like,
there's
it's not happening.
Horses for courses, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's different circumstances, and sometimes you got to break your own certain rules for those kinds of things. So I'm not saying don't jump straight in, but at the same time, like, if you don't have any knowledge of it whatsoever, do your research, take your time, and get the right people around you. And like, I guarantee you'll can almost guarantee, can never guarantee anything in life, but I can, as close to as possible, guarantee that you'll have a positive experience, and it'll be something you probably do for a long time. And you might maybe be able to make a career out of it and monetize it. Like, look at some of these girls at the top level in the IFBB. All they do is go to the gym and diet and compete.
Yeah.
And they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
What a
Like,
life.
if you can find a way to, you know, monetize something you love, that's really special.
Yeah.
coaches.
Yeah. That was a great question.
Good
Circling,
scripting. Thanks, Brandon. thanks, boys.
circling back around to like kind of that, getting into the gym for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Gym anxiety is a big thing.
Yeah.
Is there any certain tips or tricks that you would give someone if they're struggling with gym anxiety to get into the gym?
Go to the female only section.
Yeah. Or even if they have those feelings around bodybuilding, but like maybe it's something.
Yeah.
So there's a double question there.
I think there's a few things. I think you should always have the mindset of, I always say this kind of stuff with like psychological stuff. It is always easier said than done. Like someone can come to you and say, hey, I'm stressed or I'm anxious. Obviously, the logical thing to say is, have you tried calming down? But obviously, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
So telling someone that, hey, just don't worry about it, that's not going to work. Like I try to encourage people of the mindset of, everyone there is dealing with something of their own.
Yep.
And they're more focused on themselves than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll probably find that there's a lot less people looking at you than what you think.
Yep.
And most people don't even look at you.
Most people also just don't care.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that they're bad people. It's just that they've got their own stuff going on. Like I couldn't tell you who I saw in the gym yesterday. Like, I don't know. I don't know who was training. I was worried about myself. So I think having that mindset of, like I'm here by myself, but so is everyone else. But some things you could do is like, if you are a female and you're terrified of going to the gym, like no joke, go to the female only section. Like it'll just be ladies like you in there. Go with a friend or find a friend that has been to the gym before or regularly goes, tag along with them, get a training partner. Like some people love the gym for the social aspect. If that's what you want to do, cool. I personally don't love training with other people unless they're like on my vibe. Like they
That's why
want to get
we
in.
train arms.
Perfect. Another thing we can get into. So yeah, just remember that, you know, everyone's got their own thing going on, and everyone's probably experienced that at some point. Like, even myself, like, I've been going to the gym for probably 12 to 13, 14, even 15, you know, I'm showing my age now, maybe 15 years. And there has been times, even in the last few years, where I might be going back after a hiatus of taking some time off from an injury, or I might be in a completely new gym, different country.
Yep.
I get a little bit anxious from time to time, and I think we all experience it. So just because you're feeling that, it doesn't mean you shouldn't go. It doesn't mean it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably something people don't realize, but like, probably all of us have experienced some level of gym anxiety. That was one of the biggest things okay, maybe not everyone.
Not you.
I walk in, I just fucking get the shit done, and you start.
When I started, I was shit scared of
until you met
Oh
Jono.
yeah, until you met me.
And then you were going to the gym because you had the hots for the PT there.
Okay, that's another story.
Her and her cheeseburgers, man, and Easter eggs.
Yeah, I just want to say, hey, maybe you go to the gym and you'll see someone hot, and maybe that can be your
there you
motivation.
go.
There's
That's
so
a
many
bit of
variations.
motivation there.
Yeah.
No, but something that helped me was having a friend, and I
Exactly.
would force her to come with me.
And a hot PT, but yeah.
Anyway, he wasn't hot at the time.
Oh, well, you
I
obviously still find him
I
attractive.
actually just won. Oh wait, in the word, and then that, yeah.
I mean, he had a girlfriend, so.
Yeah, I was
Cut
with
that
someone
out.
else then, so I couldn't really look at you.
But no, something I've told one of my clients, she started a new gym and kind of going from like an Anytime Fitness to a fitness cartel.
Hell yeah.
So,
Big change.
yeah, a big vibe change.
Yeah.
And I suggested that she just go in, find the treadmill, hop on the treadmill, have a walk for 5 minutes, and then
scope
just
it out.
do a lap at the gym. Like
Yeah.
while you're on the treadmill, you can have like a look around. Get off the treadmill, do a lap at the gym, and leave. Like that can be
Yeah.
your first visit. No one says you have to go and do your session your first
Yeah.
time you get in there.
And you also don't have to communicate with anyone in the gym.
Yeah.
Like,
Wear a hoodie. Put your big headphones on, hoodie. No one will talk to you.
yeah. Or if you absolutely need to take it to the next level, go really late or go extremely early.
Yeah.
Like I have some clients that train at like 3 a.m. because they don't like the eye. I used to train this woman years ago at 3:30 a.m. I used to get up and train her at 3:30
That's
a.m. because she
disgusting.
would not go to the gym.
That's criminal.
It didn't last long. I taught her how to get comfortable in the
And then
gym.
you said you're coming at 4:30.
But I said to her, I was like, why don't we just train earlier if you're too scared to come into the gym? She said, oh, I don't want to make you get up. I'll get up out of bed to get you started. So just train earlier or train later.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
Or
See that, just real quick, 3 o'clock sessions for clients. Not everyone will do that. That's what good coaching will get you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it anymore.
I was very early on and very young.
4
and-
o'clock, 3:30, anything before 3, you're like, I'm charging you double. Okay, so
Yeah.
because
like,
that is nighttime. That is sleeping
It's the middle
time.
of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's my REM sleep.
Another tip though, just practice your resting bitch face. Then
No, don't screw your face up because this is how debacles do things.
No,
and if
just
you
like-
look at someone and they see you lock eyes, just
Oh,
give them a
smile.
little, you know,
Yeah.
or you give them, oh, what's up, or you, oh, whatever, mate, or you just look through and just don't blink and look through them. Nah, don't do that one. But like, the more I think there's so much stigma with it because everyone's like, oh, well, there's people looking at me, mate. They couldn't give a fuck about you. They're too busy looking at themselves.
They're probably looking in the general
Yeah.
direction and seeing how many sets you've got left
Yeah,
on a machine. They're not
100%.
trying to either hit on you. They're not trying to fight you.
Yeah.
They're all there to do the one thing.
You're either on something, you're taking too long on the phone, or you could be doing something weird and they might come up and say something to you. Probably most likely, the biggest person that you're looking at in the gym is actually the nicest person there.
Yeah.
It's usually the really small people that are feisty.
I wouldn't know. I've never been the biggest guy in the
Yeah.
gym. but-
oh, shame.
I'm not the biggest guy, but I'll certainly put
I
the bits
have.
on.
I've been the biggest guy in the gym.
You can't even see that
Interesting.
far.
Yeah.
Mine be looking at you like, we be from
Yeah.
me, Joey
It's
away.
like, oh yeah, that
and she'll
girl
be
wants me. It's like, nah, actually, she's just blind.
Yeah, she can't even see you. And most people see her and fuck, she's a bitch. And she can't see you.
Public service announcement, I am blind. So if you do see me in the gym, I didn't see you.
Why I always have to drive. It's insane.
All right, we are chatting absolute smack. So I
this is
thought
good, I like it.
thought we might, ramp it up a little bit because
Oh, we're gonna try some
we
bum
are
cams.
we are running out of time a little bit. How is 2024 season A and B looking for you, team HFS?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah?
I've like usual, I have a smaller team for season A,
Mm-hmm.
maybe just over 10, but then season B will be the usual 15 to 25 competitors.
Season B this year is sounding quite large across the teams.
I can't wait.
So-
I'm going to be in India, Dubai, America, India again. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Do you have any returning athletes either this year or next year?
Always have returning athletes.
Yeah, like people that
I've prepped before. Yeah.
That's what returning
people
means.
that have competed before and are now using me. Yeah.
Anyone, like we got, when's Lisa getting up there again?
Lisa won't be up there till next year.
Yeah.
So.
But there you go. Anyone like that?
I've got a couple of pretty good ones for this season.
Yeah.
You'll have to wait and see.
All right. They're in the woodworks.
They're in the woodworks and they're coming in hot. Let's
Nice.
just say that. They look like they carved out of wood. Like they look good.
Literally woodworks.
Yeah. Literally coming out of the woodworks.
Joey's workshop.
Yeah.
Oh, when's Piggy?
I don't know. He's every
Fucking
time
hell.
he decides that he's going to
He's
do
got
a show,
something happens.
he injures himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, fuck, what are you sitting at? Like 100, and he's peeled still. I'm like,
Let's go
Has-
6-pack.
Has he only
Bruh.
competed once?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
but like,
he was actually, so you know how we spoke about before about breaking some of the rules? He came to me like 18 weeks out. He's like,
There
do
you
you
go.
reckon I could do well? I was
You're-
like,
you're
all
like,
right. This is the first time I've said this to anyone, but if you do everything I say, you won't lose.
Yeah, right.
can we insert like a shot of him as
Yeah.
well? Especially his win shot. Because
Dude's a
his
freak.
Fuck, his
Dude's
legs
a
are
freak.
like
Defies
one of
logic.
mine at 100.
That's
Yeah,
not
probably
that's
just-
not an exaggeration.
Not
Yeah.
exaggerate. Like I seen some big dudes and natty dudes, right? Biggest dude I've seen is a natty.
How tall is he?
My height,
Okay.
so average.
So I'm actually
Just
not
picture
allowed
a
to answer
Coke
that question.
machine with muscles,
Yeah.
but bigger.
The Michelin Man.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
We were going to do a bit of a fun segment. We've got some... do I need to pull them up?
Welcome to Bun Energy. Oh, it's bum.
Is it like a rapid fire question thing?
You're on a deserted island.
Mm-hmm.
What's 3 exercises? You can only do 3 exercises for the rest of your life.
Do I have the right equipment for it?
You have whatever equipment you want.
Deadlift,
Yep.
bench press.
Squat.
I mean, everyone loves big arms, so bicep curls.
So boring. That's all right. You're the guest.
Yeah, exactly. This is mine. This show is all about me.
Can I have one of the cans real quick?
That's a good question. I didn't really get time to think
we
about
gotta-
that.
Check it out.
That's classic.
What is happening here?
Who's the person with the head? Is that?
That's JD.
I was going to say, is that JD?
That's
He
me,
looks
Jay.
better.
Yeah.
Don't cut that out.
Nah, keep that in. Hear that, bro? You could have been here, but you're fucking
Sorry,
working.
JD. I love you.
Can we scroll out so I can see the ranking system, please?
Should be like S tier, A tier. Yeah, go.
A is the highest? Oh, goat.
Goat tier.
Oh.
All right. When Jono stops talking. All right, guys. So a bit of a little fun little segment that we're doing. The goat list, sup list. So we're going to be, over each guest, we're going to be ranking different supplements. Today we have Bum Energy.
Bum energy.
Bum Energy. We've got 3 flavors. We've got peach mango.
I've got some citrus burst.
And I've got a bit of orange sunrise.
And what we're going to do, we're each going to taste each flavor and we're going to rank them. We've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and goat tier is
Goat.
obviously the best.
right.
So yeah, let's...
These are not alcoholic.
They are...
Cracking a cold one with the boys on a Saturday.
They're 5 calories.
I'm going to be bouncing off the wall with this.
5 calories, so 1 point something carbs. Apparently the caffeination is equivalent to a 12-ounce coffee per can.
This would go good with vodka.
What one did you have?
Orange sunrise.
I got peach mango.
You're going to be jealous you didn't have this.
This is going to be my favorite.
That is good.
I'm not a citrusy man unless it's a mojito.
This does taste like South Avenue. It is an alcoholic beverage.
South Avenue.
They're so good.
Look, I'm not going to lie. That straight up just tastes like Fanta.
Yeah, right.
And I love Fanta.
Is it
So-
it clear?
Yeah.
Shit.
You want to try it?
It's like
Well,
lemonade.
I will do in a moment.
It's next level.
That's lemonade.
Oh, is this? Bum energy.
That makes so much
Ding,
sense.
ding, ding.
Oh, we could have spoken
dear.
about that a little bit.
I don't follow anyone in IFBB, so
Honestly, like out of all the energy drinks I've had, that's pretty damn good. Like that's up there. I'm gonna put it in A tier. It's gonna be pretty damn good for me to put it in GOAT.
Yeah.
is it because it's Chris Bumstead's?
No, I mean I like Chris
You like
Bumstead.
it?
He's great. But yeah, that's some good stuff right there.
All right. Well, Joey is definitely hyping that one up, and it's making me second guess the one that I've just had.
I'm a harsh critic too. All my friends will tell you.
Shit. I'm not like a big energy drink gal. Don't really like sweet, like soft drink.
Coffee
type
is
of,
better.
Yeah, like coffee. That's my beverage of
Yeah.
choice. I'm gonna give it a B because I am leaving room for A and GOAT. Jono, you're up.
Mine just straight up tastes like lemonade and some chewing gum, but I think it was because of the gum I was eating before. But yeah, if I would put vodka with that, I'd definitely give it like an AB,
Which one?
like
A
in
or B?
between.
B plus.
B plus.
If there's rules, Jono's breaking them.
What rules?
That man's been breaking rules his
Yeah.
whole life.
I'm doing this one next. Oh, okay.
What's this peach?
I'm gonna burp. This is a lot.
Still tastes like Sprite.
It does smell like lemonade.
Yeah.
Weird.
That was good.
Oh, you gave this an AB.
But I like citrus.
Sorry, Chris. This isn't it.
Which one did you have?
The citrus.
Oh, what did you reckon of that? It's legit. It's not good, is it? Oh no. What have I done?
I'm going to give this one a C.
Wow.
He doesn't like orange.
I don't like orange.
Wow. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, this one I don't rate. I'm gonna give it a C.
Still drink it though.
I had the peach mango. I'm gonna give it a B. I thought it was pretty bloody good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I need the citrus.
Moment of truth.
I'm not
See if Joey's
really.
just shit.
Oh, it's just peach mango. I'm not really a citrus guy.
It's burning my tongue.
Oh, that is lychee fucking martini right
good,
there.
eh?
Oh, bruh.
Well,
Did I get the right can before?
It's peach mango.
If this is great, this is going to the fucking moon. I'm going to put it in that goat. Don't let me down, glass.
It's giving off Fanta.
Yeah, which is still pretty good. That's why I
Yeah,
didn't give
right.
it goat.
I think it's to me it's a little bit Dynatappy
What's that?
medicine.
I can drink this one.
It's not bad.
Well, I am sick.
No.
The after bit annoys me, but I'll still give it a B.
I'm gonna give the citrus a C. Not bad, but not great.
I'm sorry, Joey, but I'm giving this one. I'm putting it with the citrus at a C.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You're wrong and I hate you, so it doesn't matter.
And you're 57, so I guess we
My
went
age has gone up as this podcast has progressed.
correct.
Like, what was I at the start? Like 42.
My mum says
Then
that
I
I
was
have
52. Now I'm 57. That's impressive.
My mum says I have that effect on people. I age them.
Yeah, well, I
Hence
was,
why my hair's
was
white.
loving life a lot more before you came into it. So.
You're at work. I like Joey's picture.
Yeah.
This can is
You
the
could
best
insert so
can
many
known to
things
me.
into that too. That was cool.
Like to thank Bum Energy for their cans today.
Yeah,
Mine-
shout out Chris Bumstead.
Shout out.
My
He was
nose
cooking.
is touching the microphone.
That's great.
I was just going to say on the topic of Chris Bumstead, bodybuilding versus classic.
Classic.
In
so
what
much
context? Like what's
There
better?
is
or-
none.
Okay. I think obviously classic is a completely different look, right? They're two different divisions. And I think the whole idea of classic was to bring back the quote unquote golden era of bodybuilding, you know, like the Arnies and the Frank Zanes and the Franco Colombos, all those guys. Because I think bodybuilding was starting to get to the point where we were getting the bubble guts.
Yeah, I was going
and
to say
so
balloon,
big
the
that
it was
balloon
mass,
animals.
mass,
Shape
mass.
anymore.
There was
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
aesthetics. There was no conditioning. I think we were getting away from that. And I think it could have been corrected without bringing classic in. Like there was a lot of different things. Me personally as a judge, I would have done.
Just change who you're placing.
Yeah, change
Yeah.
the criteria, right?
Yeah.
Or don't even change the criteria, get back to the criteria. But yeah, I think classic is a great division, and it's helped the evolution of bodybuilding. It's also helped the evolution of, I think, health and fitness just in society, because classic physique is now seen as something that people actually want to look like.
Yeah.
Whereas like people would look on a bodybuilding magazine and be like, oh, I don't want to look like that. Oh, like I don't want my husband to do that or my boyfriend to do that. Whereas now, like people, like girls fawn over Chris Bumstead, you know, like,
With the lift.
and if you're a girl and you say you don't, stop lying. Like no one's going to hate you for it.
If
it's
you're
okay.
Jono, and stop lying, everyone loves Chris Bumstead.
I love Chris Bumstead. I just don't follow IFBB. Like,
Yeah, I'm not a Bumstead
I'm not a-
fan
Yeah,
per
you
se,
are.
but I think
watch it purely because
I've-
I think he's
Olympia, and
impressive.
I'm like, oh yeah, he looks great, and these guys. Yeah.
No context. Each of you got 3 seconds to answer. You have to pick one:
These
bodybuilding or classic. Go.
Bodybuilding.
Classic.
There you go.
I love every era of bodybuilding. I think Ronnie Coleman is the greatest to ever do
True.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. You could argue that he didn't have the greatest aesthetics, but it was good enough. But he had mass that we'd never seen before. It still haven't.
You know what he had?
Combined with conditioning,
You know what he had?
an insanely good highlight reel.
He had that dog in him.
Bruh, he had multiple dogs in him. He had a lot of things in him. Let me tell you that.
And
I
now,
liked it before he got hurt.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still cool now.
They did give him one towards the end of his career, which he shouldn't have got. So I think he ended on 8 titles. But yeah, Ronnie Coleman to me, like that's just, you see him in his prime, like between 98 to 2000, like
He was
dude
throwing
was
around
different.
shit.
I think bodybuilding to me is more enjoyable than classic, but I think classic is cool. That's not an indictment on classic. Just because I think something's good doesn't mean the other one is shit.
It's called an opinion.
It's like when your girlfriend asks, does this dress look good?
Yes.
Or no, it's like, which dress do you think I should wear? And you say that one. It's like, why do you fucking hate the other one? I was, okay,
You know what? I don't like none of
I'll
them.
just shut up then.
Yeah.
Trick question, you idiot.
Eat by myself.
You say, I've been over this. You say, it doesn't matter. You will look perfect in both.
Oh,
You look great.
that's so cute.
They'll still find a way to get you though before the end of the night.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
Put them in an Uber and stay with the boys.
Joey's like, that is not what to do, actually.
Yeah, I can confirm it's not what to do because I've done it a few times. Lads, don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. How do you wrap up a show?
Righto, we want to thank everyone for watching us, and this is a little bit of a beautifulness of what we got going
up.
on in the beautiful series.
I know what to do.
Go on then.
Well, thanks, guys, for watching the first episode of Going Off Tap, and thank you, Joey, for being our first guest.
Hey, I'm honoured to just not only be on the show, but be on the first episode.
Fucking
Can
A.
you
Bless.
tell the people where to find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is @JoeyCantlinPT. I don't have a website. Never had a website. And you can also email me on joeycantlinpt@gmail.com.
I've actually heard that your Instagram handle hasn't changed in 60 years.
Okay, so now I'm about 70 years old.
Funny
so
that.
saying before I was 42, then I was 52, then 57, now I'm about 70.
Anyway, it's been a pleasure to have you on and give you all the compliments. This has been the first episode of Going Off Tap and the roast of Joey Cantlin.
Yeah, loved it. Loved every minute of it. I think he's took it easy on me, but yeah. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, guys. Woo!
Very good.
We're gonna blow up.
Is that good?